when we show up at a particular time with a particular practice, with a particular amount of gratitude and a particular amount of love for our being, for our body, for our journey, for our soul, we start the process of teaching our body how to reweave consciousness. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Good morning, beloveds. Thanks for tuning in. Here we are, another episode during these wildly transformative times. And what I arrive here at our altar today and place before you is the importance of a daily routine and offering a deeper meaning, right? Like, we all know that it's important to care for our bodies. We all know it's important to eat right and to move, to cultivate a landscape within our mind and our body of gratitude, positivity. These things are vital, critical in these times we're in. They're already super important. And now they cannot be not done, right? And yet there's also this deeper need in our bodies to have routine and to have spiritual routine, to have interconnectedness as a place that you continue to return again and again and again. And in my programs and groups and circles, I encourage, teach, offer options, right? Or guideposts that we follow, that we come back to daily. And we add to these, we shift these, we move things, whatever we're moving through, right? And yet one of the most important things that I ask is that we return to this place daily. And what this does on a deeper level, right? I mean, on the very least, it creates a sense of place within us. It creates calm. It creates an ability to co-create and connect with ourselves. And yet on a deeper level, what this actually does is create consciousness. And what I mean by that is that we expand what we are capable of perceiving. And I'm going to give a little story example of that because I love telling stories, as you know. So, goodness, I'm going to say 15 years ago, maybe, at least, I used to listen to David G. He's an incredible meditation teacher. He has done some incredible work. He used to lead some 21-day practices that I love to follow, and I just adored him. He said the most beautiful things, and they touched my heart, and I kept coming back to the practice. And I would listen to him before I went to bed, sometimes to help fall asleep. I'd listen to him during the day, whenever I felt I needed this connection, and I just drank in every word he said. They were delicious and delightful. And then, life continues. My spiritual journey deepened. My awakening became more profound, and off I went further onto the fringe, right, of our current modern culture. And as I did this, my eyes were opened. I understood more. I learned more. I experienced more. I had a deeper relationship with myself. I did some incredible different modalities of healing work and developing my intuition, working with energy. And one day, probably 10 years later, right, from the day of listening to David G., he just arrived back in my mind, and I was like, oh, I want to go back and listen to those amazing meditations. And I arrived and listened, and I was absolutely blown away because they were nothing like I remembered. He was talking about consciousness and the expansion of our awareness and our body in ways that were not familiar to me. And I had listened to these meditations. I mean, we're talking probably hundreds of times, right? They were that dear to me. And yet, as I arrived to them in a more progressed state, let's say, right, in a place where I had done so much more work, those meditations were entirely different. I heard something different. And I was just blown away. How? How is that possible? How could my mind not have heard what I was hearing today? And yet this is how it is, right? We don't even know what we don't know. And until we have an experience of something or a part of us is allowed to be reconnected inside of our being, we cannot process a level of information until we are at that level, right? There's a vibration, a frequency that particular teachings live at, particular experiences live at, particular relationships live at, right? And when we are living at a different level of vibration, that information is not attainable until we clear whatever is in the way, and then we re-knit the consciousness back together. Then, once that happens, a whole new world is open to us. A whole new level of language and understanding and appreciation and ability to connect. And this, for me, has been the spiritual journey, right? It's weaving together the parts of me that were distorted or damaged or broken in particular places in my consciousness and in my energetic field. And the more we are willing to do in devotion to our own journey of discovering who we are, underneath all our patterns, programs, conditioned tendencies, stories, circumstances, right? All of those live out around us. They are perceptions. They are lenses that we look through the world. They are filters that keep us separate from the ultimate truth and from experiencing interconnectedness with all of life. And this is part of what, right, enlightenment is, and awakening is. It is being able to experience the interconnectedness of our entire planet, universe, cosmos, divine source, all of it, right? And yet what keeps us separate from that is these places where the consciousness has been unwoven by whatever circumstance happened, right? Whatever event happened. And no shame, no judgment, no guilt for those places. Just recognition just awareness, just understanding, and then bringing everything back together. And so circling back around to our routine, when we show up at a particular time with a particular practice, with a particular amount of gratitude and a particular amount of love for our being, for our body, for our journey, for our soul, we start the process of teaching our body how to reweave consciousness, how to find the places where the distortion lies, where the illusion lives, right? That place in us that has just simply forgotten that we are not separate. And in those places, we bring the necessary tools, attention, support to those moments, to those memories, to those situations in our field. And we create the consciousness that is intended to be there. And we do this through routine. We do this by getting into our bodies and practicing. And this is one of the beautiful tools we can use inside of meditation, right? It's not just about clearing our mind. That version of meditation was never really successful for me. And not saying that it cannot be successful for you. I just didn't have a lot of success with it, ultimately, right? For me, it was much more of a embodied and engaged working with my thoughts, working with my body, working with myself in order to get to a place where in meditation, I'm not trying to clear my thoughts. I'm actually feeling myself. And I'm feeling the world around me that I live in. I'm feeling my personal space bubble, my energetic field, my connection to the planet, my connection to source. All of these things are included in my meditation because as I use my awareness and my consciousness and I place it on the places that I do not experience this, and I practice feeling something other than my wounding, I create a routine for my body. I create consciousness inside of my field that then allows me to experience outside of my field. So when we choose to intentionally show up every day for whatever our practice is that deeply connects us to ourselves and to this planet we live on, to each other, right? We expand our experience. We see things that we couldn't see yesterday or last year or 10 years ago, right? There's a new world that becomes available to us because we are moment by moment building it with our awareness. And this is the additional power of having that morning routine. If we think about it just in the sense of movement, right? If we move our bodies every day, which for me, movement is one of my core values. It's one of my devotions, as I call them. And every day I have some form of movement, whether that is taking a yoga class or getting outside in the forest or swimming or riding my bike, whatever that might be, right? I am devoted to movement every day. Because, one, it's good for me, and I love it. And because it creates an energetic template and blueprint in my body that creates vitality, it creates health, it creates consciousness, it creates awareness, it creates connection to the outside world. So many more things than just, oh, I exercise because I want to be fit. Right? That's a very base level reason. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to judge that. I just needed more. For me, there needed to be a quality that was additional to I am keeping my body healthy or fit, right? Everything I do in my life is devoted to expanding my consciousness. Devoted to creating places where my body gets to again and again and again touch something greater than me and remember the sacredness that's woven into every single moment that we have. And this is what routine. And now I'm not talking about the routine where you put it on your calendar and you beat yourself up if you don't do it, or the type of routine where you get absolutely fried and stressed and frazzled if you're not following your routine, if you get kicked off your routine. That again is sometimes where we start, right? We've all been there. And yet that is not the ultimate goal of routine, right? It's not to contract us and keep us small. It's to expand us and grow us through this ability to connect into something because we're devoted to continuing to show up for it. And so when we create these routines or these patterns that we want to follow, these things we want to include in our life, with the commitment to developing a landscape and a energetic architecture that supports our spiritual journey, it's really important, right, that we include the sacred, that we make it sacred, that we bring in the divine feminine, the divine masculine. We ask the earth to come up and resource us, and we ask divine source to bring in information that we can use in order to build ourselves out and facilitate this growth and expansion that we're all seeking. So I ask you, I place on our altar, where are you going to create a sacred routine in your life today that is devoted to helping you know more about yourself, about life, about why you're here, and about what these times have for you? Because we can be assured that inside of all this chaos, there is a divine orchestration that is playing out for a better future for this planet and for us all, whatever that may look like. The thing we cannot see at the moment, right? It's dropping in the expression that goes, it's often darkest before the dawn. And it feels like that's where we're at right now. The dawning of the new day, the dawning of the new world, the dawning of the new you and the new us, the new we. My son plays basketball and we were at an orientation last night. And as they were doing the closing, the coach said, the standard that we hold here, the aliveness that we offer here, and I'm paraphrasing, he didn't exactly use those words, but that is how I interpreted it, is that we are so excited for the we, that the we of our teams is so much more important than the me of the game, right? How we show up together, how we are more excited for the other players, for our teammate, than we are for ourselves. And while I am such an advocate for receiving, for you, right? For choosing you, for putting yourself first, I am also so deeply devoted to the we, that this is how we create more for ourselves and for others, right? As well, it is getting to deeply know ourselves so much that we can be deeply devoted to the we without sacrificing what you love and who you are. And so I leave these stories, these teachings, this wisdom that has come through for you today, here on this altar for you to make magic and medicine with. I love you.